and it's ahead by x2 y2 is equal to 2 in comma 3. So the values are 2 comma 3 depending on the x and y axis. So they have taken the values from the intersection 2, that is at the x axis, and 3 as from the y axis. So such variables will be calculated. Vector s, vector as s, that's the below line, on the other hand, has its tail defined by x3 comma y3, which is 2 comma 2, and its head by x4 y4 is equal to 1 comma 1. The coordinates are being calculated. That is, just if x3 is on third coordinate, it will be calculated 3. If y3 is on 2, it will be 3 comma 2. The x and y components of R are computed as follows. So x r, they will take with reference to R, x2 minus x1, y r is y2 minus y1. xr is equal to 2 minus 1, that is x2 was 2 and x1 was 1, that is 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Whereas the components of s are computed as follows. X of s line starts from x3 comma y3, so x4 minus x3, and ys is equal to y4 minus y3. So these values are minus 1, minus 1 and 1. So three values are there. It is the negative value of xs and ys that encodes the vector direction. So here vector ys and xs are negative values. In general, given the coordinates of vectors head are the and tail are xh, yh, xt, yt respectively. Its components are delta x and delta y are given by, the formula is delta x is equal to xh minus xt. That is suppose its x head is x1 and x tail is x2, so it will be x1 minus x2. So tail is head is subtracted from the tail, so h stands for head and t stands for tail. So this is the formula which has been applied on the above example. Now next is magnitude of vector. The magnitude of a vector r is, magnitude is denoted by r is expressed by r, and it's computed by applying the theorem Pythagoras here. So Pythagoras theorem is applied. For 2D the same theorem is there, that is magnitude of r is denoted by double lines, as you can see besides r. So magnitude of r is equal to delta x square plus delta y square. To illustrate the ideas, consider a vector defined by xh comma yh is equal to 3 comma 4 and xt comma yt as 1 comma 1. The x and y components are 2 and 3 respectively. So x and y components are 2 and 3. Therefore, its magnitude is equal to root of 22 plus 32 is equal to 3.606. So this is totally calculated. That is x square, x value is 2. 2 delta 2 is calculated and it is then put to square. That is the reason the answer comes 22. And 3 is also delta 3. Then its square is 32. The answer comes 3.606. If we calculate this for 3D vectors using the same Pythagoras theorem, the above vector example are in 2D, but it is extremely simple to extend this notation to embrace an extra dimension. So if you want to convert that 2D into 3D, that is one extra dimension of Z, that is 2D will have only x and y dimension. If we go for 3D, it will have x and y and z dimension. Figure 6.4 shows 3D vector R with its head, tail and components and magnitude. The components and magnitudes are given by delta x is equal to xh minus xt. So when you check it for all the dimensions in the first 6.4 diagram, you can see if you want to calculate delta, magnitude of r is there, then head is there, tail is there, as well as you have its components as well. So if you can calculate it in 3D also, and to calculate it in 3D, you have delta magnitude r is equal to root of delta x square plus delta y square plus delta z square. So this plays an important role in the three-dimensional image. Now what is manipulation? Vector manipulation, changing of values through the manipulating means changing it rigorously, as vectors are different from scalar. So scalar and vectors are two different quantities. A set of rules has been developed to control how two mathematical entities interact with one another. So if they are two different entities, how do they calculate with each other? For instance, we need to consider vector addition, subtraction and multiplication, how a vector can be modified by scalar. So we can check this, how vector is different from scalar, through these quantities, that is addition, subtraction and multiplication, which we will see in the next lecture. In today's lecture, I have given you lecture in 3 parts, as there was some technical problem in the PPT. So it's basically 3 parts in one chapter, or that is one lecture only. So while filling the attendance, you have to fill for all the 3 parts of the lecture. Thank you.